All right, and now we will recap World's End. And by recap, I mean I'm not going to say a lot because I don't have a lot of thoughts on this one. And also, let's just jump into it with Okada and Takeshita. Doug, you talk about this one because my dog was being a menace, and I basically missed the whole match.
Dude, this was a really solid match, and Okada ate one of the wickedest poison runners I've ever seen. This was the first of, I think we kept track of 5 possible broken necks during the match.
Yes, and I think that my wife suggested, and I think she's right. Is it this button?
I cannot.
Nope, that's not it.
Nope, that's not it.
There it is.
Hey.
We'll ding every time that we get a broken neck or, in this show, a missing tooth.
Yeah, ooh.
Because there was more than one.
Yes, but this was really solid. We finally saw these two come together, go at it, and Okada went over by digging out a screwdriver from the turnbuckle, top turnbuckle, and just whacking Takeshita in the head. Took the pin 1, 2, 3, and then put it in his trunks, which I thought was hilarious.
Yeah, I did see that part. I didn't see him dig the screwdriver out because, again, my freaking dog was on one. So I'm going to have to go back and rewatch this or really watch it for the first time. I thought, though, the screwdriver was a very clever bit of storytelling.
Yes.
Because the very next match is Fletcher and Moxley.
Yep.
And Fletcher goes looking for the screwdriver, and it's not there.
Right. He tore up 3 different turnbuckles looking for it, and it was gone.
Yeah, I thought that was really, really clever little bit of storytelling there. Which is that, I wrote that down. And then whatever that top rope choke suplex thing was, which led us to broken neck number 2 on the night.
Fletcher landed square on his bean, and they kept showing it.
I know. I literally wrote down here, how did he get up? I don't know how he got up from that.
I said to you, why do they keep showing it in case he's actually hurt? Mm-hmm. Because that looked really bad.
It looked brutal. When you land and your head goes like, that's not good.
No,
that's not what you want.
No, but Mox came out on top of this one, which, by the way, what did I say when I first came over?
He said, I think Moxley's winning the Continental Classic.
Yep.
And I was like, to be fair, and I said this on Wednesday's Dynamite on 34th Street recap. I talked to myself into multiple different winners of the Continental Classic. Moxley wasn't one of them, so I'll eat that one. Of the lesson, as always, is that I'm an idiot and that my dog is a menace. But I once you got to those 4 guys, I was like, well, obviously any of the 4 of them could win it, and it's and it makes sense, and it's credible, and I'm not really gonna have much of an issue with it.
Yeah, you could have said any of those 4 guys, and it would have been an okay guess.
Yeah,
I just had this weird feeling that because there were 3 other Don Callis family guys in it, that Mox somehow was going to come out on top. And he came out on top against Fletcher, which was a bit surprising. Oh, and that's where we got the broken tooth.
Yeah, you're right. So let's also give that a... because, Moxley, I'm sure he's at a dentist. Right now.
Yes.
Whoever's on call in the Chicagoland area tonight is working on that man's tooth because that got good and busted.
That I think it happened when he was pinned in that, but
yeah, well, you're right because he when he fell out of being pinned by the stairs, he immediately grabbed his mouth when he hit so I think he hit it on the corner of the steps.
I do too.
And I don't know if you know this, I can relate because the same tooth for me. A good chunk of that is fake.
Oh, okay.
From a elbow in a basketball game. So I can only imagine what steel stairs felt like.
Yeah, because he fell out. He wasn't using his hands. He did.
Yeah.
He did it was a good. But then, he immediately was like, oh. So
yeah. He quite literally ate it.
Oof.
Yeah.
Oof.
So then we got FTR and the Bang Bang Gang in the Chicago street fight, which you were right that they would run that back with a stipulation.
Yep.
It's fine.
We both, at the end of that match, we both kind of looked at each other and went, huh.
Yeah. Just, okay. I mean, there were some spots that I thought a lot of the stuff that Colton Gunn did was pretty funny.
Yeah.
His overalls made me laugh. Some of the stuff that they did with Some of the stuff that they did with like the trash can was entertaining, if nothing else.
Yeah.
But it was fine.
Like they all can go in the ring, and it wasn't that the match was bad.
No.
But it did feel like it ended.
Yes, it was a very anticlimactic finish.
Yeah.
And that wasn't the only one on this show where it ended and it was like, okay, that happened. And whoever was in that position, I think you said this, maybe it was about a different match, but whoever was in that position was going to be in a tough spot following those two Continental Classic semifinal matches.
Right.
That was not going to be easy for anybody. But like for the finish to just be like, oh, it's over.
Yeah. Well, we opened with two barn burners that they really did build really well to a climactic finish, and now you have this third match that didn't do that.
Yeah.
And there's room for that to happen. It did just feel a little weird that it happened that way.
Yeah, I agree. And it just felt like, well, I'm just going to say it. I felt a little blue-balled by it because, like,
okay,
you know, and maybe this is just wrestling in 2025 where they build and they build and they build and you get this really hot finish, right? Where you get a bunch of 1-2 oohs and then somebody hits a big move and then hits their finisher and that's that. And it happens very fast. And with that, it was just like, it just ended.
Yep.
It was like the Sopranos finale. Like it just cut to black and that was it.
Yeah.
We're all just like, wait, what? You know,
there was no controversy at the end. It
No.
was a clean pin. It just felt like a weird way to end because it feels like that was the blow off. It feels like
I agree. But then it begs the question, what are you going to next? Because we were talking about this. The tag team division is not in great shape, which is sad given that was kind of the calling card of AEW, particularly that first year.
And they have enough teams to make it work.
They do.
They really do. So we'll see.
I don't know.
We'll see.
Yep, we'll see. So then we went to Babes of Wrath versus Mercedes and Athena. I'll just read you what I wrote down. Solid match, I thought. I think solid is the way to describe it. Mercedes did do the job, which we thought might happen.
Yep.
Which is also, I think, part of the bigger story that they're telling there.
Oh, 100%, yeah.
I loved the tease, I'm sure you caught this, of Athena staring at the TBS belt while she was trying to not berate, but then also berating Mercedes for getting pinned. Clearly, we're setting that up, which you can hook that to my veins.
I think if they don't run those two head-to-head, that's a big mistake. Seeing those two go at it, I think, is pure money. I think seeing Mercedes and Athena go head-to-head would really shoot a little bit of life into not just the TBS belt, but just the women's division. I really like, because we thought, now I'm not going to say Athena's being wasted on ROH, but I think she could add so much more to Dynamite and Collision.
I'll say it. She's being wasted on ROH. And I like Ring of Honor, and I want the TV deal for Ring of Honor. I would absolutely watch it.
Bring it.
But we're not there.
Nope.
And unfortunately, Athena is really good and is probably the face of Ring of Honor.
Yes.
But that also means that we don't see her a lot on Dynamite, and I think that's a bummer because she's really good and I really like her.
She's the forever ROH champ.
Yeah. After that, we went, well, this is going to get uncomfortable because it was Gabe Kidd and Darby.
And it did.
It did, although I actually wrote down less uncomfortable than I thought it would be. Given that Darby was involved, and he usually does things that make me go,
yes,
you know, and that didn't really happen. But part of that might have also been, I'm gonna be honest with you, this one didn't hold my attention very well, and I don't know if that was because it was a rushed build because of the Darby injury, which was real.
Right. Yeah,
I know there are some people that think it was fake, that it was a work. It was real.
We thought it might have been a work.
We thought it might have been a work, yeah, but it was a concussion. Which then even more makes me go, why do you do a spot where you throw him down the stairs right when he came back?
Yeah.
So anyway, so I wrote down less uncomfortable than I thought it would be, but also didn't hold my attention. That's really all I have to say about that.
Did we get a near broken neck spot in that one too? I feel like we might have.
Oh yeah, I think we did. You know what? It's Darby, so
yeah, I'm sure it was Darby, and I'm sure it was when he was flung out of the. It was when he took the ring post shot.
Oh, yeah.
And then also ran into the camera.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because it looked horrible.
Also, I just feel like anytime we talk about Darby,
Oh, yeah. 100%.
he almost broke his neck.
Yeah.
Or broke it. I mean,
Yes.
Yeah. From there, the Mixed Nuts Mayhem match.
I got to be honest, when I heard that match was announced, I thought it was going to be on the pre-show.
I did too. I was positive that was on the pre-show.
Really thought it was going to be on the pre-show.
My other thought when I saw the graphic for it, because I didn't watch, I started Collision, I didn't finish it. My thought when I saw the graphic was, tell me that this is to get Toni Storm on the pay-per-view without telling me. Because on paper, it makes no sense.
No.
And all of a sudden, she's in this match, and it's her and the conglomeration against the Death Riders. And I got to be honest with you, one of the things I wrote down here was, I know that they don't do mixed tag matches, not really.
Mm-hmm.
If they wanted to do mixed tag matches and gave me a bunch of OC and Toni Storm,
Yes.
I am on board.
Yes.
The tango thing,
Oh, my gosh.
loved it.
I
loved it.
One of the most entertaining spots of the whole night.
Yeah.
Those two dancing their way to clobbering people, and then OC taking the big dip from Toni Storm. So good.
And I know that there are going to be people that complain about that. I know there are people that don't like the goofy comedy wrestling. I don't care. It's supposed to be fun. I enjoyed it. Give me more.
Yeah. And if you
Please.
don't like it, shut up.
Well, if you don't like it, that's fine.
That's fine.
But you don't have to crap on it either.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? Like
Exactly.
yeah. I don't know. What else did you think about that?
It was an entertaining match. Liked it. You got to see the entire conglomeration come out. You did get to see Roderick Strong kind of begrudgingly be part of the conglomeration. I still don't know what we're doing with that.
I don't either.
But you saw Toni Storm, you saw the women, you saw the Babes of Wrath out there with the conglomeration. Nice little collective, really feel good moment, entertaining match. I enjoyed it.
I also did like we're going to get the brief moment where Roddy Strong and Marina Shafir square off since they're married. And the crowd, you knew the people in the crowd that do it because they made noise when they squared off. So I thought, okay, that was fun.
Plus, he chopped the daylights out of her back.
Yes, he did. I was like, they're going to go home and their kid's going to be like, oh, what'd you guys do at work today? And beat the shit out of each other.
Yep. Mommy and daddy. See, when a mommy and daddy love each other very much,
Yeah.
they can punch each other in the schnoz.
And it's fine.
It's okay.
And get paid to do it.
Yeah.
And get paid well to do it. After that, we got the Mercedes interview. Loved it.
So good.
Loved it.
So good.
Unhinged Mercedes is great.
That may be my favorite Mercedes Moné so far. Is
Yeah.
her going out of
Yeah.
her nut.
I loved it. I loved her shrieking and breaking stuff. I also loved the added little detail of her dressing room was almost like what I would imagine Mariah Carey's is like. You know what I mean? Like,
Okay.
it had the neon light M, and like it just I liked that little touch of like the diva room.
Exactly. Yeah. And she swore.
She did. She dropped the first F-bomb, but it would not be the last.
No, it would not.
Yay, pay-per-view.
Because her and Willow are going to go at it. Is it on Dynamite?
Yes.
Yes. Let's say yes. They're going to go at it really soon. Because that's who she was talking about.
Oh, yeah. No, I think you're right. I think it is on Dynamite.
Yeah. So I
was
didn't need
just
to short
enjoying
circuit
it.
you there for a
Well,
second.
what it is that part didn't process with me.
Gotcha.
I just
Gotcha.
enjoyed the screaming.
Oh,
And
yeah, it was great.
I'm not sure I processed really anything else about it. So.
Seeing her reaction to that question, the back end of 2025 hasn't been good for you, and then to have her recount all the positive that you really do see why she was the female wrestler of the year for Sports Illustrated, because she has put in the work this year.
Mm-hmm. No, she's been great this year. She absolutely has. I mean, you cannot take that away from her. I think this is one of the best years that any wrestler has had in quite a while. I mean, she's been incredible, and she's done it all over the globe.
Loved it. Yep.
After that,
this is the match I was saying really suffered because of the very entertaining match
yes,
beforehand.
Statlander, Chris Statlander and Jamie Hayter happened after that. And I say happened because that's about as nice as I can be.
And here's the thing. It was a really good match. I liked the match. I think it went too long.
I agree. They had way too much time.
And I think the crowd in Chicago was all going to the bathroom because it was the quietest I have ever heard a Chicago crowd for any AEW match.
Yeah, I mean, what I said to Doug during it was, I know they talk about Jacksonville, and I get why they talk about Jacksonville as being their home. It's not. It is not only the Chicago area, it is specifically the Now Arena in Hoffman Estates.
Yep.
That's where the original All-In happened, which we were there for.
We were.
It's where the company was born. And that place never fails to show up for them. They never fail to show up for AEW. If you want a guaranteed sellout crowd, you go to the Now Arena in Hoffman Estates, and that's what's going to happen. And they are hot, and they are into it, and they were not for this match.
Nope. And we talked about it. I'm not 100% sure it doesn't have to do with the very short build.
I think that's part of it.
I think it also has to do, because you brought it up in your Solo Wednesday review, that Statlander promo was, I don't know what they're doing with her. I don't know where they're going with her. It feels like a weird, almost Moxley-esque type, who's coming with me? I've defeated all my demons. I'm really going forward, which is great. But it's just a weird take, and it's not. We mentioned it during watching the show. Her and Stokely need to get back together.
Yeah, I think that was a huge mistake to take the mouthpiece away from her, and they kept playing the clip in the promo package of her going, "You want to find answers or whatever? Come find them." What question was asked?
Yeah, exactly.
From my perspective, the only thing Jamie Hayter said was, "I want my belt back."
Yeah.
I don't think that's a question. Like, I think if you answered a Jeopardy question with that, you don't get the points, you don't get the money because it's not the question.
Correct. And then I think I said, I would be okay if somehow Don Callis was Statlander's mouthpiece, because I could see that working really well.
I could too. I mean, obviously, we've talked about it on the show a lot. He is, in our opinion, the best heel manager working right now.
100%
he doesn't, his promos are great. We even talked about tonight, not that I want him to stop anytime soon, but if / whenever he does, if they put him on commentary full time, he would be amazing on that.
He's so good.
So, yeah, I think that would make a tremendous amount of sense. Stokely would be great as well, but you got to flip her. Either way, you got to flip her heel. Now, granted, she did the Big Show thing there for a while where she was flipping back and forth every 15 minutes. So it's not unheard of to switch her back. And it might not be the worst idea anyway, because if you're not going to keep the timeless love bombs as a thing, which I think they're gonna, but then, I mean, at some point, Toni Storm's coming back into the title picture, and you're going to need a heel for her to chase. I'm just not sure that should be Chris Statlander. I like Chris Statlander, but the whole build to this match was bad. And unfortunately, a lot of that's got to fall on her because her promos were not good. She felt to me in the build to this like she was not confident in what she was saying. And when you are the world champion, I expect you to be confident in what you're saying.
Yes.
And you juxtapose that with Joe and Hangman and Swerve and MJF, and it's just like, ooh, boy. Or even like Mercedes, even with her meltdown, you know. I don't know. The match was probably better than it's going to get credit for.
Right, yeah.
But that one was a bit of a swing and a miss tonight.
And I think, like we said, a lot of it had to do with the fact the crowd wasn't into it. And that, even watching at home, that takes so much energy out of the match, which wasn't fair to them.
No.
I thought it was, but this should tell you something. I'm not kidding when I say I don't remember who won.
Chris Statlander won.
That makes sense.
Which surprised me because going into it, I kept saying, I think they need to switch the belt. And I think putting it on a heel-leaning Jamie Hayter would have injected some juice. And maybe they'll run it back.
Maybe.
But I kind of doubt it.
Because that leads us, again, to where are we going now?
Right. And again, I don't think there's a clear challenger lined up.
No.
And I think that plays a lot into the main event. But first, we had I got this all the way wrong. The final of the Continental Classic between Okada and Mox. And I literally, all I wrote down was, I was very wrong about this.
I was weirdly right.
I missed this pretty bad. If you go back to the episode when it all started, I said this is one of the things we put out on social media. People reacted to it. Me going, I don't think he makes the semifinals, let alone the final. And he won the whole damn thing.
Yep. And I said, as soon as I came over to watch this, I said,
good at stuff.
I think it would be interesting if Moxley won, because you do have 3 Don Callis family members in there. And if none of them win, now you have this added layer of what are we going to do now?
Yeah.
And I liked the fact that Moxley won. What I didn't completely understand was his victory speech afterwards, which seemed to be contradicting everything he said up until tonight.
Yeah, I agree. So just to put a bow on the match was very good.
Yeah, really good.
How could it not be with those two dudes?
Yep.
Even with Mox missing a tooth. I thought,
which of course is where all his wrestling talent is located.
Oh,
right there.
that's science. Everybody knows it's this tooth
that
right
one
here.
right there.
Yeah. Good match. The promo was really weird, and it was weird because you're right. It went completely opposite of everything he had been saying. This isn't for me. This is for everybody. This is for the fans. This is for everybody that showed up to work, blah, blah, blah. When we spent like a year of him saying, you don't deserve to see the world championship.
Right.
We spent like a year of him saying, people here don't work hard enough. And so obviously what this is to me is it's a face turn.
Could be.
I think it's pretty clear. I think it's a pretty clear face turn.
Yeah.
So now what that sets up is we have a babyface Jon Moxley, who is in theory the leader of the Death Riders, who are all heels. And Pac, as you pointed out, was nowhere to be seen.
Nope.
Gee, I wonder where this might be headed on Wednesday.
Look, if that's where we're going, I'll take it.
Yeah.
Seeing those two go head to head, I will take that one all day long.
Yeah.
Love to see that.
Yeah, and I don't think that there is a bad match between Moxley and any of the Death Riders, except for Wheeler Yuta.
I knew it. I knew it was coming. Sorry, Wheeler.
Prove me wrong. I genuinely want him to. I'm not kidding. I genuinely want that dude to prove me wrong. I want him to become a thing. I think that's nothing but good for AEW.
I would agree. I like him, but
until it happens,
because who ate the pin when they were up against the
conglomeration?
It was Wheeler Yuta.
So again, prove me wrong, bro, Chacho. Prove me wrong.
There you go. We should do a bonus episode where we figure out who he needs to go up against and how he's going to get his credibility back, if he ever had any in the first place.
He did. It was the BCC, and he had the ROH Pure Championship.
Oh, that's right. I forgot about that.
This is back when Twitter was still a thing. I tweeted, if you want to see how to make a star, look at what AEW did with Wheeler Yuta. Because at that point, I was like, that dude is... They had taken him from this guy with a weird name who didn't talk.
Nope.
And mostly just hung around with the best friends. To they had made him into something. Like, it looked to me... I'm like, this dude is primed to go on and be like... one of the guys that they hold up as this dude is a great technical wrestler.
Yep.
And boy, that all went away.
Yeah.
They fumbled all of that, and they had I'll save it for the Death Riders episode, which I think is coming sooner rather than later. So
you know what? I don't know now.
Yeah?
I don't know now. I don't know if that's... We'll have to see. We'll see what Pac brings if he shows up on Wednesday. We'll see how that pans out.
I don't know how you go forward for very long with a babyface Moxley allegedly leading a heel stable. And everything about the match, it would have been one thing if they had worked that match against the conglomeration, like even as like tweeners.
Right.
But they didn't. Those were heels.
100%.
So that's why I think it's good. I also think, like you have said, I do think part of the breakup of the Death Riders is going to be to get Moxley time off. Which he has more than earned.
Well, he needs some dental work now.
Well, yes, he does. My guess is he's not going to mix it up on Wednesday.
We'll see.
Let me tell you, this stuff sets pretty quick, but not that quick.
Dude.
I just had to have this redone not that long ago. So
yeah, but Moxley's not all there.
Well, that's true. That's a good point.
Clip that.
We probably will.
Love it.
But so then we got the main event, which was really good.
So good.
Really, really good. I had talked myself into MJF winning it, which I believe we discussed on the show. My main reason for it being I didn't have any idea where you go if Joe retains.
Right.
I thought it made sense for him to keep it when it was a three-way. Once it became a four-person match, I went, I don't think he's going to keep it because I don't know where you go after that.
Right.
Unless, like you and I talked about tonight while we were watching the show, unless you did a thing of like there was a referee bump and, Swerve beat him, right? Like the crowd counts to 20 or whatever.
Right.
And then you've got Swerve going, no, I beat you. But we literally just did that.
Yeah.
We just did that with Joe and Hangman. So I didn't think they were going back to that well. So I went, to me, MJF makes the most sense. And lo and behold, that one I got right.
Yeah.
That one I got right. And I am excited because, as I have said since he came back, it is a better show with him. I think it's a significantly better show when he's the champion. It opens up a ton of possibilities. He's way fun. He's so much fun. And it opens up a ton of possibilities because everybody hates him. Everybody hates him. So everybody wants a piece, not just for the championship, but because they hate him.
Right. And having the belt on MJF makes a lot of sense. I honestly didn't have any confidence in picking any winner in this one. I said Joe just to say a name because I really didn't have it. And I told you, I don't feel confident picking Joe, but I could see Joe coming out on top. But having MJF with the belt, again, it does so many things. We're going to see a banger match between him and Bandito. I think that is going to be amazing. I think you're going to see MJF once again decide to wrestle on TV or not, and I think that's always fun. I think it's a really good move. I told you tonight, though, I really wish Hangman and Swerve would just kiss and get it over with and be a tag team.
It's the internet. You can say what you actually said.
I said I wish they'd just go ahead and fuck and get it over with.
And let's do it. Especially because, and here's where I think there may have been a little bit of a tease to it might happen.
When Swerve kissed Hangman on the neck in the corner?
That was part of it.
Okay.
They were doing moves in sync.
Yeah.
There was a sequence where they did moves in sync, and you go back to the tag match with FTR and Bang Bang Gang. And us going, what is next? Because you have not built anybody.
No.
Like, if right now today, if you had gone, like, let's just play hypothetical here. If you had gone differently, where Hangman and Swerve have a breakdown in the main event and they basically cost each other the title,
right?
I would say the next logical challenger is Jet Speed.
Yes,
because they performed really well in Continental Classic. They're an established tag team, and you've got really nobody else.
I think the only tag team, and I think they set this up in the pre-show, I think they have their sights set on Bandito and
Mascara Dorado.
Yes, Dorado, because they looked great together.
Yeah.
And they even alluded to, can you imagine what the tag team division would be like if these two got together? It's like, oh, okay.
Which makes no sense to me because Brody King is still there and Bandito was just tag champs with Brody King.
And they both said Brodito was going to continue.
Right.
But maybe not.
Yeah. So if you remove them from the equation, which it looks like we just have for whatever reason, You just took Bang Bang Gang out, and I don't think you can run it back again with them.
Nope.
So it would logically then be Jet Speed. But if you said to me, we're going to throw Hangman and Swerve at FTR, that is going to put more butts in seats.
Absolutely.
With all due respect to Jet Speed, who again had both of those guys had star-making turns in the Continental Classic, and I hope that they capitalize on that momentum. I genuinely do. But Hangman and Swerve are going to sell tickets more than Speedball and Kevin Knight. I couldn't even come up with his name there.
I could only think of Michael Knight, and I was like, that's not him.
No, that's not right. That's a very different guy.
Yeah.
And so I think the logical path is that. But I also think that I don't think we're done with these 4 guys.
No, I don't think so
with the world title. I don't think we're finished with that. I think you're going to get. I don't know if it's going to be Joe comes calling again of give me my belt back, even though he did eat the pin.
Right.
It just ended, but I'm pretty sure I got that right.
He did eat the pin after he took 3 buckshot lariats, and then MJF shoved him out of the way and pinned Joe.
That's it. And that's why I think we're not finished, because I think now what they're going to probably try to move to is Hangman and MJF.
Oh, that'd be fine.
Right. Because number one, while Swerve and Hangman are the best rivalry AEW has ever done, MJF and Hangman are the original rivalry.
Yeah, so good.
Those were 2 dudes that 6 years ago, when the company started, I said, this is their Rock in Austin.
Mm-hmm.
This is the rivalry that you can always go back to, and it'll always be good.
Yeah.
And I think they're going to go back to it. Now, I don't think it's going to be. Yeah, I don't think it's going to be a long thing.
No.
But I think there's a very good chance. I think what you may see happen is between now and Revolution, they're going to do some sort of 3-way between Joe, Swerve, and Hangman on a Dynamite. Winner gets MJF at Revolution.
Okay.
I think Hangman comes out of that. Although there's not a bad option of those 3, but I think Hangman comes out of it, and I think MJF is going to beat him to retain. At that point, you might see Swerve be the next man up. But again, I think you're going to have a really hard time keeping the belt off of him when you put him in that picture.
Right.
It's the same thing as Kyle Fletcher. Like, whenever he enters the title scene again, you're going to have a hard time keeping the belt off of him.
And like we said tonight, the minute Ospreay comes back, you're going to have a hard time keeping that guy away from the title.
Yeah, my thought for a while has been if Ospreay can get back by All In, because they're going back to London, which is a big if, because neck surgery is a thing. But if Ospreay gets back by All In, you've got to put the belt on Fletcher before that, and probably a couple months before that, because Fletcher is, like, you go back to, the pillars that they talked about once upon a time. Kyle Fletcher is a pillar.
Yeah, he's the new pillar.
He just is. So you get the belt on him. When Ospreay comes back, that's the obvious one.
Mm-hmm.
You run it back between those 2 who are excellent together, and Ospreay's got to go over at that point. Ospreay, I love Hangman Adam Page. I love Hangman Adam Page.
Yep, same.
I thought Will Ospreay should have beat him and should have gone on to be the one to win the championship from Jon Moxley.
Can't argue that one.
I really thought that, because Ospreay was so red hot, and I don't know how much his neck played into that, and maybe that's what the report was, that both guys were arguing for the other one to win.
Right. Yeah.
And eventually Tony just went with Hangman, which I get.
Yep.
And I have no problem with that. But man, whenever Ospreay comes back, I don't think you can keep that belt off him for very long. I just don't.
And weirdly, that is such a good place for them to be, because you have Will Ospreay, you have Kyle Fletcher, you have Hangman, you have Swerve, Joe's still in the picture. Moxley's never going to be far away from the picture. How do you keep Kenny Omega away from at least being mentioned?
MJF,
of course. You have so many top guys that can make that happen, and it's going to be a good mix. I don't care who you throw in there. Out of those names, it's going to be a great match, and it's going to be a good rivalry.
Yeah, I agree. And I think that if we thought even a little bit harder, we probably come up with more names. Like, I think you can conceivably come up with like 10 dudes.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
That you go, that's a legit contender.
Okay.
Give
me 2 more right now.
What Powerhouse Hobbs.
All right. Yep.
And
I'll throw him in there. Yeah.
Here's why I say that is when you've got a dude that looks like that, even though he hasn't been around it, when you've got a dude who looks like that and can do what he can do in the ring, you have to consider him a threat for the world championship.
Yeah.
You have to.
You should.
So I would put Hobbs in there. Okada.
Yes.
You can't ever...
Takeshita.
Yeah, Takeshita would be a part of that. I mean, you know, with Okada, you can't ever say that guy's not a potential world champion because he's been so good for New Japan.
True.
Takeshita, absolutely. I don't know. I'd have to sit down and look at the
I would have
roster
to
more.
say you could put Brody King in as a spoiler runner-up.
Yeah, I mean, here's one if you want a semi out of left field one. Orange Cassidy.
Okay, yeah.
Because it wasn't that long ago, you know, before he got hurt. We talked about this before. Before he got hurt, a lot of us were going, I think you got to put the belt on him. Like, I think you got to make him the world champion. And it wasn't that he has to have a 400-plus day run like MJF does.
No.
But could you get a 90-day world champion Orange Cassidy? I think you could.
Yep.
And I think that the fans would be into it.
Yeah. Plus, with him, you would see him defend the title almost probably every week.
Yeah.
He'd be on TV wrestling.
Yeah.
It would be a good run. But again, he doesn't need a belt.
No.
Orange Cassidy doesn't need the belt. But you could throw him in there as a potential spoiler of going, what if?
Another guy that I have thought for a long time, the guy that I thought was going to take it off of Jon Moxley before all the Hangman stuff was Darby Allin.
Yep.
And I'm not sure I full on buy Darby as world champion. But
anymore,
I'm not sure it matters if I buy it.
That's true.
I think it matters if Tony Khan buys it.
Right.
And I think he does.
I think he does. Although at this point, Darby is busy applying to be a crash test dummy. So I don't know if he's going to have time to be a world champion.
Yeah. But I mean, that's a dude. I just had another name and then it left my brain meats. That's a bummer. That's gone. That's gone.
Kyle
Claudio.
O'Reilly.
It was Claudio.
Claudio. Okay.
Claudio would be another
one. You could
one.
throw him in there. Yeah.
Yeah. Because, again, this is a dude who, and I know that we ragged on him a while back, and I think we were justified for that, but that is a guy that so many of us have been like, why are you not a multi-time world champion? And that's kind of what we ragged on him for. If you were to say to me, if you were going to put Claudio Castagnoli in the world championship picture, I'd be like, well, yeah, I get it. Yeah, I buy it.
Yeah.
I'm not sure I buy that he's going to win just because of his history, but then if he did win, I'd be like, well, I mean, yeah.
Yeah. Oh, and by the way, when he put Tony Storm in the giant swing, I don't think he's ever gained that much velocity ever.
No.
And I thought he was going to throw her into the 10th row.
Yeah.
Oof.
Yeah, that was something. So, you know, I think overall, I think it was a solid show.
Yeah.
I'm not going to tell you this was my favorite pay-per-view they've ever done.
It wasn't.
However, what I'll say is after every AEW pay-per-view, I don't regret spending the money.
No.
I don't regret that.
I mean, even though there were some weird spots, AEW pay-per-views are always so good.
Yeah.
And I mentioned right after the event that I think they're a victim of their own success because they do set that bar so high. Which is why I think that third match of the night felt kind of weird because, you know, with the Bang Bang Gang and FTR, because they had just built those first two matches and it was like, holy crap, what's happening? And then you have this match where it ends. It's okay that happens. But it did feel they've had better.
Yeah.
They've had better.
But overall, I think a solid show. What's your match of the night?
Oh, that's kind of tough. I honestly think Okada Takeshita, the opening match, was my match of the night. It was really fun to see Okada take the screwdriver and just resort to anything he possibly could to get the win and doing it. And I just thought they started with a lot of energy, and it just, for me, that was, I think that was the match of the night.
I put down Moxley and Fletcher.
Okay, I can see that 100%.
With the asterisk of, I didn't really see Okada and Takeshita because my puppy was being a gremlin.
That's fair.
So when I go back and rewatch that, I might change my mind.
But the Moxley Fletcher match was, again, so
it was
good
really
too.
good.
That's a really tough call And even with the main event, that 4-way match, really solid, but maybe it was just because it started with such a banger. And I'm really enjoying the Okada character right now. Maybe it's just speaking to me a little harder than normal. But yeah, it just, he can put the screwdriver in his pants. Was so funny.
No, I love everything that Okada's doing right now. I think since he came to AEW, he has been wildly entertaining.
Yep.
And I think he's been really, really good. I'd like to see him wrestle a little bit more.
Okay.
But I'll be honest with you, that's me being selfish because I haven't seen a lot of the New Japan stuff. I've just seen like little clips here and there, and I know like the legend of Okada, and I want to see more.
Right.
And that's just me being greedy. I fully admit
that's okay.
But
that's okay.
Yeah. But yeah, so pretty solid show. I think the Continental Classic delivered. I
do too.
It absolutely delivered. I thought the main event delivered. And, you know, there are definitely some highlights in between and then a few head scratchers, but, you know, only a few. And as per usual, we'll see how they pay it off on Wednesday.
Yeah, we'll see what they have in store. I'm really intrigued. Like, I liked the Continental Classic because I do think it set up some stuff going forward, which is what it should do. And I think it achieved that goal pretty well, although they've already got me a little confused with the Moxley win and the possible face turn weirdness.
Well, and again, that's where I think Wednesday becomes really important of what do you do with that? You need to show that you've got a plan here of this is why he cut that specific promo. And it's not just because he got his tooth knocked out, may or may not have broken Kyle Fletcher's neck, and also got kicked right in the pills.
Yes, he did.
By Okada. Like you need to, if you can explain why that dude, after a year of being the polar opposite of it, gave that promo.
Yeah.
And do it in a clear way, John.
Could have been the Novocaine to the brain.
Could have been. But if you can explain it in a clear way, John.
Talking to you, buddy.
I would appreciate if you took a little time and watched the John Cena heel turn promo on YouTube where he clearly laid out why he turned. Maybe learn a few things from that.
Yeah.
If you could do that for me on Wednesday, that would be good.
I don't think Tim's asking for a lot here, John.
I just like words in an order that makes sense.
Yes.
That's all I'm asking for. If you could do me that solid, bud. Remember, dapped me up twice, blew this guy off. Let's keep that connection going. Yeah. Again. So yeah. If we get a good promo that explains that on Wednesday, and we can see a little bit more of what the Death Riders are going to do, and if we get, well, I mean, the Mercedes story I think is going to be really good. I think we can confidently say that. We'll see what they do with FTR. I think that's going to be kind of important.
Yes, it is.
What do we do now? And obviously, it's always important what you do with the world title, but. You know, if they can capitalize on a lot of the stuff that they started building tonight, then I have no complaints about the show.
Is this where they finally bring back Cope and Christian to take on FTR?
God, I hope so. Like, I get that the idea was they were done with FTR and they were supposed to move on to Nick Wayne and Kip Sabian because those guys had come back around.
Right.
And Nick Wayne's foot injury is worse than they thought. Stop me when you've heard that before, as I point to my little toys of MJF and Adam Cole there. My micro brawlers. I know that that's part of the problem here. But injuries are going to happen.
Yep.
Pivot. And I don't know why you wouldn't pivot to taking arguably the greatest tag team ever in Edge and Christian.
Yep.
Why would you not run them against FTR again? Like,
I would.
You got to get those dudes on the show.
You talk about an instant pop. That would be...
Like, you got to get those dudes on the show anyway.
I could totally see that on Wednesday. FTR coming out, celebrating. They're doing their thing. Big Stokes doing his thing. Lights go out. They come back up. Yeah. And then, boom, there they are.
Yeah.
I would love that.
Yeah. So we'll see. That's, I think, that is one of the things that I think I'm actually going to be watching the closest is what are we going to do with the tag team, the tag team division here? And if it's Cope and Christian, that would be delightful.
Yeah.
And if it's not, please let it be Hangman and Swerve.
Yes. I don't think they're going to do that. So
I don't
you
either.
got to give us something. Even if they don't win, I don't care. I'll watch until we have built something else up underneath that, but we need something in between.
Yep.
So
Yep. I agree.
give us that.
Yeah. But overall, solid show. Like I said, I'm not mad at it. We broke a bunch of necks and a bunch of teeth tonight.
Oh my God.
So
So much neck.
best of luck to everybody and their medical bills.
Yes.
Yes. And we will be back. New episode will come on Thursday when we break down whatever they do on Dynamite this coming week. And like I said, we'll see if they can capitalize on things like the tag team. Like I said, I have no doubt about the world title scene, but like, what are we doing with the tag team title? What are we doing with the Continental Championship and the Death Riders? So hopefully we'll have more clarity on that we can talk about on Wednesday. In the meantime, like, share, subscribe, do all the things. And also hi to MJF, who liked one of our posts.
Hey, buddy.
I assume he's now our #1 fan.
We're glad you won.
Yeah.